Still in Group B, Spain, Portugal and Iran all had the chance to finish as group leaders today, but who did? And which of the three ended the day eliminated?
D is for drama, Kay Murray, and that's the case with Group D, where Messi and Argentina are hanging on. It's win or bust against the Super Eagles on Tuesday.
And ahead of that crunch clash, we take a journey to the heart of Nigerian football and learn more about why the Super Eagles are no ordinary team. And you already know that this show is no ordinary World Cup show.
Not on a day like today, with so much at stake. We are delighted you've joined us here for the Xtra Russia.
A point was all Spain needed today in their clash with Morocco to qualify, but Morocco had their own point to prove after their elimination from the tournament. The battle was on in this group, and in the first half we had a goal from each side. Late on though, Youssef El Nesri putting Morocco ahead again with an unstoppable header, sending shockwaves through the Spanish, but then Aspas made it 2-2 from the bench. Referee said no, but the video assistant referee took another look and said, yes, this one will stand Spain. It did finish 2-2 to them. So Spain through with that point, but who would join them?
Yeah, Iran, an incredibly lovable side. Iran fans didn't care about Cristiano Ronaldo and his 8-hour kip last night. And here he is, begging them to quiet down. I love this. Another element to this World Cup that's made it so special. The length that the fans have gone to add colour and fun. CR7 played along brilliantly as well. From the window, Fernando Santos, he made a few changes to his Portuguese starting 11. One was to include Quaresma. What a golazo! The veteran up to his usual tricks just before half-time. Brilliant goal. And then Cristiano Ronaldo from the spot would miss. That was his third World Cup penalty, his second actually against Iran. Iran would get their own spot kick and they'd score late on in the game. It was squeaky bum time for Portugal. Brilliant finish and sorry fired from the spot. And then they had an opportunity. Mehdi Taremi with the strike just wide. Absolute drama towards the end. And it would be Portugal that would advance.
Yeah, so this is how Group B ended up. Spain and Portugal finished level on points and with the same goal difference, but the Spaniards topped the group as they scored more goals. Iran missed out, and even though Morocco were already out, they gave a good account of themselves against the 2010 champions. Welcome into Xtra Russia, welcome into the deciding round of fixtures, and welcome to tonight's panel, Kev, Kay, Bert and Ernie.
What?
Bert and Ernie.
Who's Bert and Ernie? No one in this country. I don't even know who Bert and Ernie is.
I know Bert and Ernie.
Do you? Well, you're older than me. I wouldn't know.
Unfortunately, we look like him.
Starsky and Hutch. We said Starsky
Bert and Ernie. Bert and Ernie today. Gary, you're very happy with the 2018 World Cup.
Yes, Hilda. Very happy. I tell you what, this World Cup for me has been the best ever. Today is another one of those stunning days. Things could have happened, last-moment decisions, and two reasons. One is that the players and the teams, I think, are a lot closer, and we saw Morocco and Iran brilliant today. And the second is VAR. It is changing football forever.
It has changed football forever. 19 penalties already, more than any other World Cup. And we haven't even got out round 3, so to speak. It's insane, and it's benefited the biggest decision for soccer in the last decade. It's been century as far.
All right, guys, but let's get to this group. Portugal and Spain both advancing, but both just with 2 draws in their group. Do you think other teams are looking at them now and thinking, you two are not quite as not quite as scary as we thought you might be?
Yeah, absolutely, although it could change. But with Spain, we were just talking about it, 5 goals conceded, 4 of them errors. Today, Ramos, what is he doing? Bumping into Iniesta. I mean, I get 1 error, maybe 2, 4 of them. So Spain not looking sharp, looking tired. And if I'm here, I need to shake this team up. What I'd do, I'd drop Iniesta.
Whoa!
Iago Aspas
There was talk that he would be rested today, actually, so it was a surprise for some to even see him.
I don't disagree with you either, guy. I might go with Asensio, though, in place of Iniesta.
No, but something has to be done. Yeah.
Thomas?
Yes, something has to be done. And I think it's not Iniesta. If you surround Iniesta for this team, and they've gone back and forth through qualifying, Kane knows it's better than anybody else. Is it traditional 9, Costa the best? Is it mobility up front? Because let's face it, when Aspas comes in, when Rodrigo comes in, it's a different team as well. And they give other opponents something. So, Hero.
Yeah.
Are you going to make those changes?
Portugal advance, but now they face a really difficult route on one side of the bracket. They'll face a side we can discuss in the next segment as well. Cristiano Ronaldo, though, without any sleep, he misses a penalty. He nearly got sent off after a video review as well. Are Portugal a little bit too reliant on him, Gary?
Sorry, you said he didn't miss the penalty.
He did miss the penalty.
But a goalkeeper on the panel.
If the keeper goes the other way,
from 12 yards, it's a penalty.
the keeper goes the other way, goes in the back of the net. Look, he's a little bit. He won the penalty. Yes, the penalty is saved, and you can look at him and say, you've got to tuck those away and make 100% sure. But give Iran some credit. They were out of this world. They hustled and bustled Portugal. They got themselves back in the match. Again, VAR, was it a penalty? Not for me, but VAR is changing the way things happen in the box, and nearly lost it. But you're right, they missed the opportunity to play Russia, which I think gave them a good chance of going through. They meet Uruguay, and for me, they have no chance or very little chance of beating Uruguay. That's how good Uruguay are.
We're going to get to that actually a little later in the show. Thomas and I are going to be breaking down the first games that we've got in the last 16, but we need to move on.
Yeah,
now.
just a little bit of love for Iran, though. What about them? They get a World Cup win.
Yeah, absolutely.
They save a penalty from Cristiano Ronaldo, and the best of all, nutmeg and PK. That was absolutely brilliant. Folks, we're going to step aside for just 2 minutes here on the show. When we come back, Jamie Easton's seemingly won the lottery in Russia. You'll see. We'll show you Ronaldo's next opponent and analyse what a battle this clash will be. And, of course, we'll get you the very messy situation with Argentina. We're back in a jiff.
Welcome back to Xtra Russia. We'll be bringing you the best of the day's World Cup action and biggest talking points every single night during the tournament here on beIN Sports. Uruguay, Russia kicked off the day's games. The two sides had already qualified after winning both matches so far, so this clash was a decider on who won the group. Scoring a free kick there is Luis Suarez early on to open the scoring. This one went down as an own goal for Denis Cheryshev. I wonder if he knows that that doesn't count in the Golden Boot race. Anyway, coming off the strike from Laxalt. And then late on in this one, Edinson Cavani there to scoop up the afters and make it 3-0 to Uruguay. Now, with host nation Russia winning both of their opening games in emphatic style, Jamie Easton thought it would be a good idea to go and join a local watch party for the team's final group game. But we're a little worried that he's had his head turned by the Russian billionaire lifestyle.
Wow, that was a long flight. This is my helicopter and I just landed on this boat. The boat where today we'll enjoy the game between Russia and Uruguay. Come and join me. Everything was ready to enjoy an historical game for Russia, and suddenly the giant screen stopped working, but nobody seemed especially worried for that. When they arranged the problem, Russia was already 1-0 down. I went back to keep an eye on my helicopter. Everything was fine. This is how they reacted after Uruguay scored the second goal. It's half-time. I was walking around the boat and look at what I've just found, the jacuzzi. And what did I bring today? I brought my swimming costume. So let's get inside. So I took my clothes off and went inside the jacuzzi. Sun is shining right now, enjoying here the half-time, relaxing, a free massage on my back. Can I stay here for the whole night, please? Oh. I nearly fell asleep, but it started to get a bit chilly in there. They gave me this bathrobe just in case I was feeling a little bit cold, and this is how I will enjoy the second half. Will Uruguay be capable of still beating Russia by 2-0? We'll find out. During the second half, the Russian fans were still excited. They still had hope. They regretted every single chance they had, but all their dreams ended with the Uruguayan third goal. Russia lost 3-0 against Uruguay, but as you see, they don't seem very affected. They are celebrating because nobody expected anything from Russia in this World Cup, and they qualified into the last 16 round. Russian fans kept singing, dancing, enjoying. They will play the last 16 round. That game will be different, as if they lose that one, there will be nothing to celebrate. But meanwhile, party still goes on in Moscow.
I'm worried that Jamie's getting a bit big time there. Thomas Rungan with me now as we focus on Group A. Now, I want a yes or a no from you. Did the group turn out as you expected it to?
Yes.
It did?
With a few twists, though, but yes.
OK, well, let's take a look at the other game from the group today. Saudi Arabia and Egypt, who'd already been knocked out of the World Cup, facing off today. Mo Salah opening the scoring with a nice ball over there, lofting it over the keeper. But then there was to be an equaliser, and we're just going to take you to the winning goal now for Saudi Arabia from Salam Al-Dawsari, and that's how it finished there. So strange goings on before this game because Mo Salah wasn't named in the starting 11 and then was. Anyway, here's how Group A ended. Leaders Uruguay, perfect through 3 games, 3 wins, 9 points, no goals conceded. Russia go through in second thanks to those 2 strong opening games, and Saudi Arabia and Egypt packing their bags and returning home. So we now have our first round of 16 fixtures. It's Group A winners Uruguay taking on Portugal on Saturday the 30th of June, while Group B winners Spain take on the host Russia the following day on Sunday the 1st of July. Now Thomas, New York Times writer Rory Smith tweeted today, Uruguay are the Portugal of South America and Portugal are the Uruguay of Europe. He went on to say it's going to be an awful game. I want you to tell me if you agree with him.
Well, I agree with the fact that they are looking very similar, and you could toss them over here. These teams, duels won. Portugal, Uruguay, always do in every game. In terms of lethal, Ronaldo right now is at 85% shot accuracy. Cavani and Suarez combined, right now I think they're over 100 goals. So you got on both sides people that can attack. Somebody needs to step up outside of Ronaldo. You and I both said, you know, Geddes, you're the man. He wasn't. It's charisma, similar to Benzema, the guy, again, that you go to like they did in 2016. In terms of presence, in terms of strength, with Jimenez, with Godin, Pepe in the back and the other side, they're very similar. But, you know what? Torreira today was just out of this world.
But are you giving them the edge then?
I have to give Uruguay the edge. But I would not bet against Portugal, so I don't know what I'm saying right now.
Well, listen,
but it's going to be a hell of a game.
told me that in El Derby, Cristiano Ronaldo is the top scorer, and that's against Godin a lot of the time. So that's an interesting matchup that we already know and see.
Talking about that there, Ronaldo scored a few set pieces. Jimenez and Godin are good in set pieces. Could a corner, a set piece header be the difference?
It could well be. Now, Russia's 2 opening wins surprised many, but they still didn't convince everyone, even though they did have those 2 emphatic wins. They were beaten 3-0 today. Did we learn a little more about who Russia really are in this game?
We learned a little more about Russia, that they can go past their living starting players. He rested some players, which is probably smart, because the chance of winning this game and topping the group are probably slim. So he rested players that score goals. Their leading goal scorer with 3 goals right now. So they are better than they showed today. Can they get a result against Spain? I think so.
You do?
Yes.
OK, interesting. Not too sure I agree with you on that one, though. Still to come, we will get word from Tancredi Palmieri. He's at the Argentina camp ahead of the do-or-die game for the Albi Celesti. We'll be talking about that man, Messi. And it may not be in Iceland's hands, but there's still a chance we could see the thunderclap in the last 16. We'll tell you how when we return.
Welcome back. Argentina face a must-win clash against Nigeria tomorrow in Group D. Turmoil, probably too soft a term to describe Albi Celeste's World Cup. Disastrous performances, talks of infighting, and an actual scrap between Mascherano and Pavon, and players revolting against manager Jorge Sampaoli. Tancredi Palmieri has more.
Kevin, tomorrow will be a night with no tomorrow for Argentina. There is not so much to say, not so much to think about, because it will be an historical humiliation going out in the group stage. Jorge Sampaoli is a lonely man. Every manager is probably the loneliest manager at the moment. It's clear, even if not of the many rumors has been confirmed, that the whole squad doesn't have any more that respect they should have for his own manager, for his own leader. Sampaoli is changing once again the lineup, once again the tactics. This time around he's going with a 4-man defense line. There will be Otamendi and Rocco as centre-backs, then Mascherano and Banega in the middle of the midfield, and up front, next to Messi, Gonzalo Higuain, starting from the first time in this World Cup. So 4-4-2, so Agüero on the bench. Many thinking that what Agüero said after the second game, when he said Sampaoli can say whatever he wants, when Sampaoli told about the failure of the technical project, many think that those words has benched Agüero. Sampaoli has been talking about being the first of 5 finals. Well, winning even the first one at this point would be kind of achievement, because let's remind that this could be historical in many ways. Last but not least, we could be 24 hours far from the last game of Lionel Messi in a World Cup and the last game of Lionel Messi with the national team of Argentina. Back to you, Kevin.
Wow. Welcome back at the studio. Kevin Egan, Gary Bailey, Thomas Rongan with us. We're about to play player-team game. Our player is an obvious pick. Argentina, they snuck past Nigeria 4 years ago thanks to a Messi brace in that game. Thomas, he's going to have to do that and maybe more tomorrow against
You know what the
Nigeria.
most important matchup tomorrow in the game is? Messi versus the Argentina jersey. Is it too heavy for him again? Messi versus his coach, Sampaoli. Is he going to pick the right 11 to surround Messi to be successful? Those are, to me, the most important things with all the turmoil right now. Pick the right 11, have Messi shine, and let Messi, look at the face there, carry that heavy weight of the jersey to victory. I expect him to win and go to the round of 16.
You've been critical of Leo Messi in the past, and you've been criticised for that on social media.
Yes.
Explain what you meant when you criticised Messi.
That his automaticera doesn't translate from Barcelona to Argentina. And what I mean by that is Pavlov's dog theory, doing things over and over and over and over and over till they become automatic. That group at Barcelona has been together for 8 years. They train together. Patterns of play, we call that. The ball travels. You know already the right fullback goes. With Argentina, you had 3 days to prepare. So now, Messi, less is more. Get more players involved. Don't tell me there's no good players around them. Great example is the first game. 12 shots by Messi. The next guy next to him is 2 shots. So if he can balance things and share more, there will be less pressure on him when he receives it. Okay. So that's where I say his low IQ has become average, but needs to become better in this game here. Make the right decisions, Messi, and then you'll be okay.
Okay, Gary Bailey, unlike Argentina, progression isn't in Iceland's hands. Can you see the debutant getting through here? They need a bit of luck. They need Argentina to win, and then they need to go and beat Croatia, who are already through.
Yeah. Look, firstly, I think Argentina will win. They have to. They've got too many top-class players when their backs are against the wall. But Iceland play Croatia B. They don't play Croatia tomorrow because Croatia are through. And the one advantage you have if you're Croatia, you can rest players who are going to hopefully play in a last 16, a quarterfinal, semi-final. Big matches coming up, one after the other. So it'll be a second-string Croatia side. And I think this Icelandic team, who've got a draw against Argentina, are good enough to beat a second-string Croatia side. And then, as you say, they sit back and wait to see if Argentina do beat Nigeria. If they do, and Iceland score enough goals, Iceland go through, and Argentina and Nigeria go out. How about that?
And they're confident too. Manager Heimer Hallgrimsson saying, why are we so optimistic? I think it's in our genes. We're optimistic about absolutely everything. Love that. Keep fighting. In terms of the game to keep an eye on, Rongan,
I just finished
you're like Bob Ross over there.
I just started finished my starting 11 for Argentina. Okay. A 3-5-2. You know what? Nothing has worked. Play Higuain and Agüero on top. Play Messi underneath. Have another playmaker coming from a wide position, which is Dybala. Get youth in midfield that can run. Lo Celso and Pavón. I wouldn't start Mascherano, but Mascherano's Messi's friend, so he'll start again. I'll play Fazio in the middle of the back three and put my two most athletic players next to him because Nigeria poses some speed, which is Mercado and your favorite player, the left fullback from Ajax, pronounce his name. What's his name?
Tagliafico.
Yeah, Tagliafico. There you go.
Here's the guy. You've got to get him on the pitch, Dybala. I know they don't like playing
so Thomas,
him. He's got so much talent.
You're putting Dybala, Messi, Higuain, Aguero, Pavard all in the same 11.
Why Biglia? Why not a pedestrian in Mesa? Why Salvio? Please do me a favor. When Fazio played two games, it was 0 against Uruguay. It was 0 against Brazil as well. He's the player that can play. You got in the left zone, I call that. All right. Center backs and center backs, but played right fullback or left fullback. So in build-ups, you get a lefty in the left zone, you get a righty in the right zone. Pavone, we know, can go up and down. Dybala can come on his side, and finally Messi has somebody he can combine with. Lo Celso has shown for PSG and in the Champions League that he is a number 8 that can bridge there. Throw the old guy in there, Mascherano to organize things, and then you get two players that have combined goals of 60 this year, Gary Bailey.
If you're going to go out in style.
Yeah,
thank you.
No, I agree with you. Gary, your opponent tomorrow, Nigeria. It really is a footballing stronghold in Africa. Now, you've spent a lot of time in Lagos, down in the southwest coast of Nigeria on the water. This is a place that's phenomenal. I've had a good friend that's gone and lived there for a long time as well. What is the place like? Because coming up next here on the show, we've got a documentary produced by Nike that you have to see. Gary, tell us a bit about the footballing culture in Nigeria.
Well, first, a little bit about the country. It's the biggest country, or it's the biggest GOP or GDP in Africa. It's the most number of people, 150 million. That's a lot of people. I mean, you think Portugal's 10 million. It's 150 million. By the way, they're the best dressed country. They've got a great fashion style. But when you actually travel around Lagos and you travel around Nigeria, it's the creativity, the buzz is second to none. You won't find it anywhere else. Driving through Lagos takes you hours, but there's traffic, there's people. It's an amazing country for getting things done, for being clever, for being entrepreneurial. And the same applies to their soccer. They're playing it everywhere. They're producing great players all the time. They're a nation that are not just talented, they're a very clever bunch of people as well. And when you get a Nigerian soccer team, they're desperate, hungry, well-organized, and incredibly talented as well.
And you're going to find out a lot more about this great country very shortly, 15 minutes from now. This is Niger, a Nigerian football story, a documentary produced by Nike, a fabulous piece of film. You want to stay tuned and check this out. We will hit the transfer tracker too that questions the future of both Mateo Kovacic and Ever Banega. And of course, we've got the best of today's World Cup social media, Tuesday's predictions and more in a couple of minutes.
Welcome back into the show. We are delighted to be bringing you this nightly show, the Xtra Russia, here on beIN Sports every evening. During the tournament, we look back on the best of the day and ahead to the next. We also bring you the latest transfer news.
Yeah, we're not forgetting about you, club football. In the transfer tracker, Unai Emery and Arsenal. The Gunners fans want to see some business, and they are doing it. Nearly close to signing Uruguay and Sampdoria midfielder Lucas Torreira, and Unai Emery also wants to bring in his old pal Ever Banega. The fee set to be upwards of $20 million for a player that had Europa League glory alongside Emery at Sevilla.
Now, according to the local press in Manchester, Manchester United are eyeing a move for Real Madrid midfielder Mateo Kovacic. The Croatian international has admitted he's not happy with his lack of game time at Madrid, and he's looking to address this problem.
What a signing that would be. Now, a coach and a player don't have to be best friends. We've had some problems. Those, the words of Paul Pogba, sparking 1,000,001 rumours that he's set to leave Manchester United this summer. The Red Devils are said to want Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, a very similar style player to Pogba.
Eden Hazard's dad, Thierry, is said to have directly contacted Real Madrid to offer his son to the capital club. Spanish Sports Daily Marca reported that Los Blancos are considering the player as an alternative to Neymar and that Hazard is ready to snub a new deal with Chelsea.
Raja Nainggolan is staying in Italy, but not with Roma. The Belgian outcast is off to Inter Milan. In fact, he's already completed a medical with the Nerazzurri. He's been such a key cog in Roma's midfield since signing from Cagliari in 2014. Now, try this. Okay. When you're watching two games, if your eyes don't get strained like mine were today, I mean, it's very difficult to do. And look, I looked a little bit like this earlier on today. Yeah. One of those things when your eyes are popping out of your head. You know how it is? That's just me.
Is your neck moving the same way?
We did have two screens next to one another. This is exactly what we were like in the office.
And we had video review at the exact same time together.
In each
Phenomenal.
game.
Love it.
Those games have set a whole string of memes going, especially for this. The internet had so much fun when Cristiano Ronaldo had his penalty saved. These are the 1 million Messi stands rushing to their keyboards as Ronaldo has the penalty saved. You'll be happy to see, Gary.
Yep.
Harry Kane watching Ronaldo's penalty be saved. This was a funny one. Is Jedinak's speed the best speed in the history of football? Gary Lineker, former England striker, said actually no. This is Adam Clayton, who now plays for my Middlesbrough, and he said actually, I will grow this twice as long and get the Union Jack on there for a game if England win the World Cup. So they've had a nice charity bet now. So good on you, Gary, and good on you, Adam.
It is that time of the show, though, folks, to get off the fence. Looking ahead to tomorrow's games, a crunch game between Denmark and France. We'll kick off the predictions with Mr. Gary Bailey, who's going to top the group and get the job done tomorrow.
I'd say it's going to be a draw, which means both France and Denmark go through. So France on top, Denmark second. It will be a draw. Yeah? What do you reckon? Don't just do that. Say what you think.
Mr. Bailey, another team that I'm not sure about.
Yeah.
And France is going to show me in this game that they belong.
And so?
So I took a draw.
I couldn't pick. I wasn't too sure, so I went for a draw in this one as well. I'm so sorry.
Are you serious?
I'm sorry I did.
All right, I'm going to get out there. See that fence they're all sitting on? I'm getting off the fence, and I am leaning towards Denmark. I think Pione Sisto, Eriksson are going to do the business, and France finally going to slip up for some poor performances.
I wonder who production have gone for in this one. I wonder if they're
You
going to
never
give
know.
France...
Oh, there you go.
So no one's going France.
That's a surprise, isn't it?
We're off a rocker here.
All right,
in the
let's move
Xtra
on to the
Russia.
next one. Australia against Peru. I'm going to start on this one because, Gary Bailey, I have an opinion on why I'm going to say what I do. What do you think?
I think Peru, they've been fantastic. They are such a lovely footballing side. And although Australia can still make it, I don't think the Aussies have the ability to outplay Peru. So Peru it is.
Thomas?
I'm sentimental. I would like Guerrero go out on a high. I would love for Cueva to just shed that penalty, which he's going to dream about for the next 10 years, and get a goal and get a victory, because they deserve it.
Okay.
I'll take him.
I'm going for Peru as well because I want, after 36 years, them to get the win. It's been great to watch their journey, but I do hope that Tim Cahill gets the goal because that will make history. So a Tim Cahill goal, but a Peru win.
Do you know what? I'd love to see Peru do well. I've been Vamo Peru throughout this World Cup and in the build-up to it. I just think tomorrow Australia need to win. It's as simple as that, and I think they're going to go out there and they're going to get the job done. Mile Jedinak up the villa.
Well, his beard's not as good as Adam Clayton's, though. Remember that.
That's
Production also go for Australia as well.
Yeah.
So that's a good balance in that one.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. In terms of Iceland taking on Croatia, what do we think? First of all, actually, let's go Nigeria, Argentina. My bad. Gary, your pick.
I'm going Argentina because there's too many great players and very good players on that side. Backs against the wall. Everyone's against them. It's chaos. And when you put great players under that sort of pressure, they perform. So Argentina to win.
You put great players under pressure, they perform. How about Messi? He doesn't always perform, Gary, but I still pick Argentina as well to go through to round of 16.
He's like, well, he doesn't always do it, but I'm
No, there's 10 other guys that are pretty good. So, yes,
All right.
3-2.
I did go for Argentina, and it's what my heart was telling me. But then I saw this fantastic documentary that we've got coming up straight after the show tonight, and because of that, I've decided to go for Nigeria.
Oh my God,
and
you
you
changed
will
your
see
mind.
why
Oh my
when you
God.
watch what's coming up. Kevin?
Things were bad when Argentina had to go to Ecuador and get the job done to qualify. Messi put them on it. But I think he's going to do it again.
Yeah.
Just turned 31. Happy birthday, Leo. I'm going to go with
By the way,
Argentina to get the job.
Ecuador was the Suvente team that played against him, so I remember that.
Production, Nigeria. See, they've watched the documentary too,
Wow.
and soon you all will have as well. All right, let's get on with the game that we almost got to. Iceland against Croatia. Gary?
Iceland to beat Croatia B team, which is who they're going to put out. the
Wait a
B
minute,
team.
wait a minute. So if
Croatia
Iceland
not play-
wins,
They're
by
gonna-
how much? Because then they'll end up
That's
second.
the key, isn't
so you
it?
picked Argentina to go through, and now all of a sudden you throw everything into a
Well,
turmoil.
Iceland are one goal behind Argentina. So if Argentina win, they go through just. Unless Iceland win by 2 goals.
The big thing right now for every coach is in the driver's seat. Do I rest players, or do I follow my momentum right now?
And so?
They're going to rest, draw, or maybe I don't know what. Well, okay, it wasn't a draw. Who do I pick? I pick Serbia.
I'm the same.
Oh, pick Croatia.
I think
Of
I went for
course.
Iceland. Iceland to keep. Yeah, I went for Iceland. I remember it now.
Croatia, we're talking about a B team? Yeah, Kovacic, no, they're not that bad at all. I am, though, going to go for Croatia. I think they'll have enough and they'll dent the dream.
Production?
So we're not going to see that clap, are we?
Production have
Not
gone for
after tomorrow.
Iceland.
Go Iceland.
Every day of the week,
There
we
you
ask
go.
you to send your questions in with the hashtag #AskXtraRussia. Many of you have done so today. One of our favourite one, great question from Ash Rose. Their 12-year-old asks, how are the referees and players from so many different nations able to communicate on the pitch?
It is a very good question from a 12-year-old dad. Firstly, it's mostly English because footballers tend to speak that language. They also do a lot of sign language, so, you know, if someone's chopped someone down, the referee will give those sort of signals. And unless it's a French-speaking referee against two countries that speak French. then
Unless
they
you're
speak
brilliant like me and speak 5 languages.
You speak
if
5?
Hey, jongens, even sterk, hè? Forte, hè, muchachos? Zusammen, meine Freunde.
Is that it?
Yeah, here you go. No, zusammen, Jacques, and then French as well. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi?
Except for that one. Anyway, we will hopefully get some of those language lessons off Thomas, but we do have to move on now because we are telling you about something fantastic that's following tonight's show. Just a shorter suit from us guys tonight, just a few of us. We will be back for an hour tomorrow, but it is a fantastic documentary put together by Nike about the history and the culture of Nigerian football. Honestly, you're going to love this, and it might just make you root for Nigeria tomorrow.
Go on, the Super Eagles.
Can't wait.